I think we definitely learned that like working well as a team gets you really far in a game, especially like a high pressure game like that. During the game, they definitely knew Darby was going to come in and score a lot of points, and Kat as well. So they really focused on guarding them. And I think we learned from that game that we have to like share the ball well and like take every opportunity we get. So. Yeah.
And then there's a lot of changes this year because you guys get the new head coach and you guys move up to 3A as well. Kind of what's the focus of the offseason been like, knowing that all those changes are happening, and then you guys lose Darby and Kat too?
Yeah, I think we've just really been motivated to come back this season and like defy the odds of like not doing as well as we did last year, especially with just everything, all the changes that have occurred. But I think we're really confident in what we have, and we have some returning players, so Alexa, Mason, and I, and then we have a lot of new girls coming in who are really going to contribute to the team. So.
And then no pressure because he's over right there, but how has Coach Beckman been just in this, you guys haven't started practice yet, but in the off season getting to know him?
Yeah, he's been really great so far. He coached us during the Carroll League, and we really like his playing style, and he just adds a great tone for our team, and he's really positive and helpful, and we're just glad to have him.
And what are the goals and expectations going into this year, knowing how far you were able to make it and how far Canterbury just has always made it, now that the road to getting there is a little bit more difficult?
I think a goal is always going to be to make it to state. I think that's everyone's goal no matter what. And we're going to have to work hard to do it and play really well together as a team. But I think we're all motivated and confident that we can make it happen. So.
Well, I think last year, I mean, the score doesn't show it, but we fought hard the whole entire time. They stalled some time, which caused a big gap, which doesn't represent how we played, I don't think. I think playing Heritage Christian for the second time, I think the second time last year, we actually played them a lot better, and we moved the ball well, and none of us were really selfish, which was our previous problem. And I think that we learned that if we played as a team, then we could battle through it all.
And then as a senior, what have you taken away from the loss to help motivate this year's team?
Well, I think with Canterbury's tradition of going to state and losing 2 years in a row, it just motivates us to get back and keep the tradition going, and we want to win a state championship again, bring it back to Canterbury, a win. And so I think our past two losses the past 2 years have really motivated us to work hard and try to get back to that final goal of winning a state championship.
Now that you're the senior leader on the team, what did you learn from Darby and Kat last year that you're going to apply to maybe your leadership style?
Darby and Kat were both great examples of what a really good leaders were. On and off the court, they were very encouraging. They helped teach us what we didn't know. They answered all of our questions, and they just remained positive through it all. And I think I can take away that positivity really can help make a team more like a family, and like let the younger kids know that it is okay to mess up. We all mess up, and just if they know that, then they'll be willing to take more risks and they'll have more confidence. And Kat and Darby did a really great job of that last year, and I hope to continue that this year.
And then obviously, besides just losing Darby and Kat, there's just a number of changes right now for Canterbury. You guys are moved up to 3A. You guys have the new head coach. What's been the focus this offseason going through kind of all the changes that's been going on in the program?
Well, it is a big difference with moving up to 3A. We're going to face some tougher competition, and losing Catherine and Darby, we're going to have to change our style of play. We're going to have to move the ball better, and we're going to have to play more defensively, I think, to keep the scores more manageable, because we don't have a person like Darby scoring 30 points a game, and a huge presence with Kat in the middle. But I think that we're ready to face these challenges of 3A and losing those two key players, and I think Coach Beckman will help us achieve that.
And then what are the goals and expectations this year for Canterbury basketball?
Well, the goals and expectations are always just to get back to that state championship, and it will be a battle this year, but I believe that we should still keep that our main focus and goal, just to motivate us throughout the season.
It's been a lot of fun. I had the opportunity to coach them in the summer league at Carroll, so that was a good chance to get out there and get to know some of the girls. We got a nice core group coming back with Alexa and Lilly and Mason Van Houten. Got a lot of young kids in the program. Getting to know them was kind of one of the things I wanted to get into early, just getting to see, what their strengths and weaknesses were and where they were going to fit in and how they can help us. But it's been a lot of fun so far. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, change is kind of the name of the game over at Canterbury right now because you're taking over for Wayne Krieger, and then you guys also move up from 2A to 3A. What do you see as being your biggest challenge moving up to that new, bigger conference?
I think probably the biggest challenge, and it's just looking at internally what we can do as far as developing those younger players, just getting them, I think with the fact of them being young, it's going to be getting their confidence developed to get them to play consistently day in and day out. And I think we're just going to focus on things like that that are in our control, and then, what happens will happen from there.
Yeah, how many freshmen do you have coming into this year's team?
Right now, I think as far as freshmen, I've only got one, but we got like 8 sophomores.
8 sophomores?
Yeah, so we got a lot of sophomores, so.
How do you see some of the returning players like Lilly and Alexa and Mason who played alongside Darby and Kat and know what it's like to get to a state championship? How do you see them kind of shaping this new age at Canterbury?
From what I've seen this summer, they handled it very well. I think probably one of the things we talked about big this summer is just more ball movement, getting the ball in other people's hands. I don't know for sure that we're going to have that, one player can go out and maybe put up 40 a game. Not saying we don't, but it's just more, giving other people opportunities to get in there. And we got kids that can score. So it's just moving the ball and just, trying to spread it around.
What would you say are the goals and expectations for Canterbury this year?
Right now, we're taking it game by game, game by game, and hopefully when the sectionals roll around, we hope to be playing our best basketball because, like you stated, it's going to be a huge challenge in that new sectional. Moving up to 3A, there's a lot of very, very good teams in there, so there's no room for error when you get to that point. So just kind of progress throughout the season and just get better as we go.
What's been the biggest difference moving from Heritage to Canterbury?
I really don't know that there's been that big of a difference. It's just maybe the culture of this being a little bit smaller of a school. That'd probably be the biggest thing. But other than that, I don't think there's really been a big difference.
And then finally, they know that their goal every year is to get back to the state championship. What do you think it's going to take to get there this year?
Again, just developing these younger kids and filling in those spots. I think we can fill in those spots and we're playing good basketball at the end of the season. Anything's possible.